Welcome to the Possibility Action Network. I'm Dr. Stephen Middleton, aka Possibilityman. We're sharing stories of hope, resilience, and possibility. I've been away for a few months, but not away from the mission. I've been working on a biography of Judge Robert Heberton Terrell. Some of you may know that name, some of you may not, but I hope to share a few things about him today, which resonates with me because of the Possibility Action Network. Terrell was born in 1857 in Virginia. And those of you who know anything about American history know that most Black men in Virginia at the time were born into slavery. He was born into that legal institution. His mother was still enslaved there. His father had been emancipated under Virginia's meritorious service law because his father happened to free him when he was 14 years of age, when he was dying. So Robert's father was free, but his mother was still enslaved in Virginia. Then the Civil War came, and it was not until 1867, after the war, that Robert's father and mother relocated with young Robert to Washington, D.C. And it was at that time that Robert was able to enroll in school for the very first time. Late in life, he told his wife, I barely knew my ABCs when I started school in 1867. But he was always a precocious young man. He enjoyed learning new things, doing different things, outgoing personality. So therefore, as he matured then in elementary school, his parents made sure that he enrolled in high school. He went to a place called Sumner School. The official name, just in case you're curious, was the Preparatory High School for Colored Youth, which was the name that many people used at the time to identify Black people. In high school, Robert's teachers noticed something about him. He had special gifts. He learned things easily. He was a good debater. So as he matured then, he decided now that he wanted to go to Harvard College in Massachusetts. Upon graduating at 16 years of age, as the star pupil of what they commonly called Sumner School, Robert left home at 16, went to Boston, uh, got himself a job, working, doing whatever he could to support himself until he could enroll in Harvard College. It wasn't until 1880 when he was able to do so, but he did so, got into Harvard, worked on campus, continued to do odd jobs to make a living for himself, and began to rise as a Harvard student. One of his professors said of him, Robert Terrell has special academic talents. He was talented. Now, notice, he was born in slavery, but his status as an enslaved person had nothing to do with the gifts that were native to him. His teachers recognized it at Harvard College. And then when it was time to graduate in 1884, Robert had excelled and surpassed many of his classmates. He was one of Harvard's valedictorians and delivered a speech. Can you imagine a Black young man in 1884 graduating from Harvard, selected to give a graduation speech because of his outstanding performance? After his graduation, he returned to Washington, D.C. Even though talented, even though well educated, his opportunities were limited because of his race. But nevertheless, he got a job teaching at his old high school. And as an ambitious young man, he decided to enroll in Howard University School of Law at the same time. And he earned two law degrees. But as an ambitious young man, he wanted more. And his fortune turned in 1901 when President Theodore Roosevelt appointed him to the Justice of the Peace Court in the city. He did well as the Justice of the Peace. And then in 1909, when William Howard Taft became president, Taft promoted him to the new Municipal Court, the new city court in Washington, D.C. So let's pause here for a moment and see what just happened in this man's life. When he was born, they considered him chattel property. The law said that he did not own himself, that he was owned by somebody else. But because of his own ambition, once the laws changed, he rose. His past status as someone calling him a slave, did not hold him back. And here's what he said late in life. I think I made a note of it, and I want to read it to you and see if it resonates with you the way it resonates with me. Terrell said, an individual must face life's deep significance, must recognize its possibilities, must know its limits, and make a final choice among conflicting purposes. Does that have any special meaning to you? Let me ask you this. What are you up against today? Robert Terrell was up against enslavement. What do you recognize as your possibilities? Once the shackles were removed, he decided that he wanted to go to Harvard. And after Harvard, he said, I want to become a lawyer. As he talked with people around the country, especially young people, he told them, a group early in the 1900s, he said, I gave my work my best energy. Now, what did he mean by that? Did he work hard? Of course he did. But I think he also meant he gave his work his passion. He gave his work his love. He gave his work the best energy that he could produce because it was something that he was dedicated to. And then ultimately, he wanted more. And because he wanted more, he eventually stepped into it as a judge in the city of Washington. So look, the Possibility Action Network then was formed for people like you, people who also recognize your possibilities. Has anyone told you that you couldn't make it? Has anyone told you that you've made too many mistakes? Has anyone told you that you're not good enough? And this doesn't only apply to one set of people, it applies to all of us, whether you're a blue collar worker, a white collar worker, a professional, and the like. The Possibility Action Network is designed with you in mind. And I'm inviting you to join me to co-create it. Let's make it a community where we can see each other's possibilities and help each other realize what's possible in your life. I'm Dr. Stephen Middleton, also known as Possibilityman. Until next time, good day